review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders episode 29, the conclusion of the Anubis two-parter. This has gotta be my favorite episode that I've seen so far because the fight in this episode was really, really good. It was awesome, and Anubis is way more dangerous than I actually thought. In this episode, we get to see more of Anubis's abilities. Not only can he possess other people, and it also applies to stand users, which I will get to that later, but he can also memorize the attack patterns, the movements, the skills, any attack from his opponents that he witnesses, meaning that he won't fall for the same trick twice, as it was shown when Polnareff tried to use the same move that he used against Chaka, releasing the blade from his rapier sword to hit him in the neck, but it didn't work because Anubis blocked it with his own sword. Okay, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, so let's start at the beginning. So Polnareff manages to escape getting his neck sliced by pulling the lever from his chair, leaning back, and of course getting out of the way. Khan, who's the name of the barber by the way, get it? Chaka, Khan. He gets wounded on the chest, but from what was shown in this episode, no matter how many times you damage the stand user, as long as the stand is still intact and is still within the possession of the stand user, or the possessed stand user at this point, it can still keep on going and attack you. Now, Jotaro did manage to wake up, and you'd think that with Khan being preoccupied with Silver Chariot and Polnareff, you think, Jotaro can just, use Star Platinum, ora, hit him in the face and be done with it? No, Polnareff tells him to stay back because he didn't think Star Platinum can handle against a sword stand, which he managed to figure out, like, within the first minute of the episode, of course. Anubis then shows that he's even more dangerous. The more times Anubis faces off the same opponent, the more powerful and the faster he becomes. Every strike Anubis uses is more powerful, so his strength and speed grows pretty quickly. Polnareff's Silver Chariot was like really struggling, and without his blade, Polnareff was defenseless, so Jotaro summons Star Platinum and punches Khan right in the face, sending him flying out the window, which, he should have done earlier, but okay. And Khan and Anubis is, of course, still alive. So the possessed Khan tries to, attack Jotaro this time, but Jotaro uses Star Platinum to catch the blade right between his hands, break off the blade, which, you think, you destroy the blade, that you destroy the stand, and, that'd be it. It looked like it was it, but it turns out that Khan was unconscious, or at least Anubis was, at least that's what Polnareff said. But, yeah, the stand is, of course, still alive, so they managed to unsheath it without touching the blade, and they decided they're going to throw it at the Nile. But they get caught by the police, who, he is doing his job, which is understandable, but the fact that the sword is a possessed stand, oh god, he really should not have tried to pull that sword away from Polnareff because he grabbed the sheath and Polnareff grabbed the hilt, which manages to unsheath the blade, and Polnareff is now possessed. That's just freaking great. And Jotaro has no choice but to fight against him, but he can't go all out because that would mean he would kill Polnareff. So yeah, Jotaro was in quite a pinch in this week's episode. And as for the police officer, well, he was okay because Polnareff did try to attack him, a now possessed Polnareff, but Jotaro kicks him so hard he sends him flying into the nearest garage door. He's okay, surprisingly. That kick was pretty strong, I'm just saying. Also, another problem for Jotaro is that Star Platinum's moves have all been memorized by Anubis. Yeah, this guy has a very good memory. Now, throughout the series, most of these stand users usually have their own quip or catchphrase. For Anubis, his is Zet Tiny, Zet Tiny, Zet Tiny, Makanai, which means no matter what, I will not lose. Or I won't lose, whichever. So the fight between Jotaro and Polnareff commences, and Star Platinum was actually doing a pretty good job blocking Anubis' attacks. And he did try to catch the blade again, but since Anubis doesn't fall for the same trick twice, sped up the blade and was about to slice Star Platinum and Jotaro in the head, but Star Platinum headbutts the blade and breaking the headband, by the way, but he still gets nicked on the shoulder, and then he uses his palms to hit Polnareff on the neck, sending him flying. But Star Platinum and Jotaro was also sent flying too, which I had no idea how that happened, but it did. All the while, Jotaro was really conflicted over fighting against Polnareff because he knows that he can't go all out against him, even though he has to against Silver Chariots. But by doing that means that he would also kill Polnareff, so, you know, he can't really do that. So Polnareff gets up and he decides to use a dual-wielding Silver Chariot. Silver Chariot using his regular rapier sword on one hand, and on the other using the broken Anubis sword, which explained why in the opening Silver Chariot was shown with two swords. Now, Star Platinum and Silver Chariot start exchanging blows, in which it seems that Star Platinum was holding him off on his own. But later on, Anubis and Silver Chariot start to get faster and stronger throughout every strike, which gives Star Platinum a hard time, and he manages to get cut a couple of times. So Star Platinum kicks Silver Chariot and does something I was not expecting at all, using Star Finger. I was told that we were never going to see that technique used ever again, but he actually used it. I don't know if this was in the manga, but if David's production added that into the anime, then I gotta give kudos to them. The Star Finger only managed to hit Silver Chariot's shoulder, knocking off a piece of its armor, which unfortunately Anubis now knows that if he removes Silver Chariot's armor, he can go even faster. But before he can even remove his armor, Star Platinum tries to attack him a couple more times. But eventually, Silver Chariot then stabs his sword through Star Platinum's hands together, and then stabs the Anubis blade right into Jotaro's stomach. But Anubis was celebrating, and we actually get to see his full appearance, which he actually does look like the Egyptian god Anubis. And he was like, "Yatta! I won!" If it wasn't for the fact that Jotaro is the main character, I would have been really in a panic, because you know, Jotaro, he is the main character, which we all know he was gonna pull off something to defeat Anubis. With whatever strength Jotaro had left, he managed to summon Star Platinum and break the blade into multiple pieces while the sword was still stuck in his stomach. Star Platinum manages to destroy what's left of the blade, and Anubis seems like is done for, and Polnareff is now freed from Anubis' control. But the fact that Jotaro was injured pretty badly during this fight, and the fact that he had to use everything he had, and he even acknowledged Anubis as the strongest stand that he've ever faced. It shows how dangerous and how powerful Anubis really is. But just when I thought Anubis was done, you know, we did see him crack and explode. No, there was still a piece of the blade intact, which a kid with a lollipop sees, picks it up, and is now being possessed by Anubis. Then we get to learn some new things about Anubis, which really did surprise me. His original stand user was a blacksmith that forged the blade 500 years ago. But the blacksmith died, yet the stand still exists. He's a stand without a stand user. Is that even possible? That really did surprise me, because I didn't think, you know, stands can exist without their stand users. I thought, you know, a stand user dies, so does the stand. Maybe it's because Anubis has his own personality. I think it's the first stand we've seen that has its own personality. Or maybe we haven't, or maybe there were more that I've seen before but I didn't notice. Please guys, can you let me know in the comments below? Anyway, he's probably the first independent stand that we've seen so far. And I don't know if we're gonna see more of those kinds of stands later on. But it really did kind of confuse me a bit, so I did a little bit of research. I don't care if I was gonna get spoiled, because I really wanted to know, and this is what I found out. Most stands have no personal goals, serving their master without question. Stands who don't have users will generally go wild. Some stands show personality, speaking to others besides their master, but most still serve their master without question. So, if that's the case, then maybe there's still some stands that do have their own personality. I haven't seen any of the main character stands having their own personalities. Although, earlier, Star Platinum was described as aggressive, and Kakyoin described Hierophant Green as, you know, not liking open spaces or stuff like that. So, yeah, stands can exist without their stand users. That's pretty surprising. Also, we get a confirmation of the name of Dio Stand, the World, or the Worldo, or something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna keep practicing on that. So yeah, Dio Stand is now called the World. I can finally say the name. Thank God. So anyway, Dio found the sword Anubis, and Anubis was afraid of Dio because the World was the only stand that he could never defeat, which is why he pledged his loyalty to Dio. So now that he's possessed by the kid, he's going to use the kid to throw the Anubis blade, what's left of it, at Jotaro's back. But Iggy shows up, tripping the kid while he was trying to get some candy, throwing Anubis off its target towards the Nile. Oh my god. Iggy does it again, even if it was unintentional, but seriously, I freaking love the little mutt. Anubis is sent flying towards the Nile, but he sees a wall, which he was gonna like stick himself into the wall so he can save himself, because if he sunk into the Nile, he'll rust and he'll be lost forever. Unfortunately, he panicked and phased through the wall, but he sees a boat, so he was going to like attach himself to the boat and, you know, to get to the captain of the boat, the sailor, to get possessed by Anubis and, you know, counterattack against Jotaro. But he accidentally hits the cow, which was on the boat. The cow then goes like nuts, but before the Anubis can possess the cow's mind, the cow goes overboard, and then Anubis then sinks into the bottom of the Nile. And the episode turned into like serious intense, and with this awesome fight with action, to very funny all of a sudden. Anubis was like acting all panicky and scared. Hell, I mean, like he was trying to get like fish and crab to like get him up to the surface, but no, they just swim away, or the crabs just walk away. And I thought it was freaking hilarious. And then you see like what's left of Anubis saying, "Don't leave me," and then he starts to cry and saying, "I'm so alone." And then you get the subtitle saying, "Anubis retired." So yeah, that's it from Anubis. He's now spending all of eternity in the bottom of the Nile. He's gonna rust and probably die eventually, yeah. So we come back to the reunited group, and Iggy was like looking off at the sunset or something, I wasn't really sure. But Polnareff slaps Iggy on the head, telling him that there was nothing to eat over there. And then Iggy like goes up to Polnareff's face and farts on him again for the third time. I guess this is gonna be a thing throughout this series, so yeah. Also something I kind of forgot to mention. At the beginning scene, right after the opening, we see Joseph messing with Iggy with the coffee-flavored chewing gum, and he also gets farted on too. So it's not just Polnareff, but also Joseph. Jotaro now has received some medical attention, courtesy of Abdul, and he swears that he is never going to go off with Polnareff alone ever again, which is why they should really keep Polnareff on a freaking leash. And just when I thought the episode was gonna end there, no, we actually get another little lesson on Egypt, on the different kinds of people who live there. And then we segue to this woman who was walking by, and these like two guys were like ogling at her. I mean, seriously, they might as well have been going or something. But I remember her from like the preview for the second season, so she's also another one of Dio's minions. And that is basically where the episode ends up. So overall, I really liked this episode. It was like my favorite episode that I've seen so far. Just when you think like Anubis is done, no, he keeps coming back. Well, until like, you know, he gets flung into the Nile. The episode, throughout the most part, was very serious and intense and had a lot of action, which I really liked. In fact, this was my favorite fight so far. Possessed Polnareff and Anubis versus Jotaro, which was really great. The animation and artwork was really spot on throughout most of the episode, which I really gotta give kudos to David's production. And I believe they also added some additional scenes throughout the episode, which I really did like. I thought they did a really good job. I was not expecting Star Platinum to use Starfinger again, that's for sure. But then the fight then ends off in a very comedic note with Anubis trying to like not get himself stuck into the Nile, which I thought was really funny. But you know, despite that, I still think Anubis is probably the most dangerous stand that I've seen so far, fighting against Jotaro and Polnareff, especially with Jotaro. He's definitely the top minion so far out of the 9 Egyptian stands, that's for sure. So I really like Anubis. I think he's like my favorite stand out of the Egyptian god stands so far. Komatsu Fuminori, who voiced Polnareff, I thought he did a really good job, especially voicing possessed Polnareff. Looking up what he's done before, he hasn't actually done a lot of like anime. One I do recognize is Tomura from Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, but he's done a lot of dubbing in live action movies and TV shows. For example, Ben from Hawaii Five-0, and he's also the dubbing voice of Shia LaBeouf, especially in the Transformers trilogy. Also, the voice actor for Khan is Hidenai Ugaki, who voiced Zangief in Street Fighter Zero, the animation, Ganryu from Tekken Blood Vengeance, Jinan Akebino, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, the one with the hammer and the axe in Naruto Shippuden. He also voiced Argo Gulski in Mobile Fighter G Gundam, and Yama from One Piece. And of course, I gotta give kudos to Yasunori Matsumoto for voicing Anubis, especially his demise. So yeah, overall this episode was really good. My favorite episode so far, and definitely my favorite fight so far in the 2nd season of Stardust Crusaders. Now in the preview, that woman that we saw at the ending scenes, she's also another one of Dio's mains, but her stand is called Bastet, and her name is Mariah. I don't know what Bastet is gonna be. I mean, we do see an electric outlet shocking Joseph, which I don't know what's up with that, but we're gonna get another individual fight with Joseph, and of course Abdul, who's going to help him out, which is great, because we haven't had an individual fight with Joseph since his fight in episode 12 against Empress. At the beginning of the preview though, we get to see a quick scene of Kakyoin in the hospital, so I guess we're gonna get an update on his condition, which was weird because I heard that we're never gonna see Kakyoin, at least not for a very long time. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next week's episode and seeing how Mariah is gonna hold up against Joseph and Abdul, and what her stand Bastet is gonna be. So tell me guys, what do you think of this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of Anubis so far, and what did you think of the fight between possessed Polnareff and Jotaro? I thought the fight was very well done. It was really good. Good job with David's production. Really good job. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, episode 29. I'm gonna respond 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.